Good morning, everybody. I just did a quick mic check. I see the little thingies popping up and down, so I think y'all can hear me and see me and all that other fun stuff. Today is porch party day. It started about an hour ago. One of my local quilt shops is doing a porch party, which is just basically customers say, hey, look, I want to show off my quilt for inspiration to folks. And I have my socialites quilt in it. So I am looking forward to, after this live, running up there and seeing all the gorgeous quilts. I will be taking pictures and I will have a video come out probably midweek with all the gorgeous quilts that are there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a better day this year starting out than it has been the past couple of years, but the past couple of years it would start out rainy, kind of dismally, and then get to be sunny. It's cloudy, and it's going to stay cloudy. So it's still going to be a beautiful day for it, but it's going to be, still a lot of fun. So let's see what kind of awesome people we have here. Good morning, Jacqueline and Jeannie. Good morning, Stephen. I'm sorry I missed you and Sean this morning. I kind of slept in a little bit, so I'll be catching that replay this afternoon. Good morning, Bettina. Good morning, Stephanie, who I've heard is going to have Stephen this afternoon, which is going to be a lot of fun. I will definitely be able to catch that one. And like I said, catch up on Sean. Sean's a little early, and he knows that. So he says that the replays are just as awesome as the lives. Today, I am working on the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Sunshine on My Mind Table Runner. It's a free pattern from Fort Worth Fabric Studio, and they're always a lot of fun to do. They offer a kit, though I think they're sold out now, which is both awesome and horrible because if you didn't get a kit, you can't get in on it. The fabric is gorgeous. I'm loving this. I'm excited. Week 1 was just cutting, so that's why I did not work on it last week, and that's why we are starting with week 2. So I know a lot of people will be like, why is he starting with number 2? It's because week 1 was cutting, and I just did all the cutting off live because watching somebody cut is not that exciting. Although I guess some people do have different techniques for cutting, but I don't have a camera set up for cutting, so that's why really we're not going to ever see me cut, at least for now. The first block is called Lemon Squared. It's basically a square and a square with cornerstones. It's very easy. It's a handful of flying geese. It's just a handful of flying geese and then putting them together as a 9-patch. If you're interested in doing this, you can run over to Fort Worth Fabric Studio's website. I have a direct link in the description to the patterns. And if you want to sew from your stash, if you've got the kits and we're just waiting to sew with me, my friend Stephanie is doing the tutorials for it. Her tutorial came out Monday, and it's an awesome tutorial. I am not taking tutorial cred from her because I'm not a tutorial. I'm a sew along. And yeah, I don't know if I really want to do tutorials too much. They are fun, but I just don't have the setup yet for tutorials if I wanted to do a tutorial. So I'm just going to do things that are called sew-alongs. I will share any gotchas that I see and everything if I, come across them, but it's just going to be a whole bunch of let's sew it up. So if you are sewing along with me, let me know. If you aren't sewing along with me, what are you working on? I also have a little bit more of a surprise. I managed to get the light over here working. So when I do my sewing setup, it's a little bit brighter down here. I know before, like, this whole area was like completely shaded. So hopefully this helps a little bit with the lighting. I will find out. I need to figure out how I'm going to move things around in order to get better electricity over there. Because the electricity, it's a USB powered thing, and when I plugged it into my little hub here, if I turned this one on, this one on, and then went to turn this one wouldn't turn on. But if I turned them on in the opposite direction, they will, which means there's not quite enough power coming through. There's only 2 steps in this pattern. Step 1 is create a whole bunch of flying geese. Specifically 8, so 8 is a whole bunch. Most people like to draw the line for their flying geese. I'm lazy because that's an additional step. Actually, I should probably make sure. Okay, I'm right. I have a bad habit of cutting things the wrong size, so I did a quick measure of this. So traditional people will draw a line corner to corner, corner to corner. I have a stiletto. Corner to corner. There we go. So if you draw the line, you can do that. If you have a laser line on your machine, you can do that. My laser line ends here, and the fabric ends here. So I've got inch and a half that I can't see. So I have diagonal seam tape that is on here that is extending to here. So I can do, as long as I keep the point here on the diagonal seam tape, it's going to line up pretty good. Bettina is working on an order sewing plastic bag holders. Oh! My family's only had the little plastic things that you just shove the bags in and you keep shoving, and people rarely ever take them out. Good morning, Michelle the Quilter from sunny New York. Ooh, that sounds like fun. I miss my trips to New York when I lived in the Boston area. Although I gotta remember, SiriusXM on Broadway is doing a what is that thing called? I want to say it's a contest, so it's not exactly. It's a drawing. That's the word. They're doing a drawing to see Ben Platt at the Palace Theater in June. So, like, he's one of my favorite Broadway stars, and it's just him basically in concert, I guess. So I'm not going to sit and pay the money to go to New York and see him. But if I can get it for free, I definitely would be interested in that. Good morning, Lucy from South Jersey. So I just got to remember to go to their website and sign up. They did announce this morning that travel is included. And because travel is included, I am more apt to enter to win. I know I have 0 chance of winning, but you know, if you don't win, you actually have 0 chance. And if I enter, I have close to 0 chance. And I have won the SiriusXM drawings in the past, a handful of years ago. I got to see Shania Twain in concert here in Atlanta thanks to SiriusXM. So we'll have a chance. Good morning, Sue, who says good morning, Russ, and everyone else. I hope you're having a wonderful day, Sue. I was a little unmotivated yesterday afternoon at work because Cotton Cuts did their carnival reveal. And I have now officially seen how my puzzle mystery quilt is going to finish out, because somebody did the small in my colorway as one of their ambassadors, and I was able to see that. I have seen my sister's colorway in large, which is basically the same, except just a little bit bigger on the sides and top. It's the same motif, so I know what the center area is going to look like. I asked her if she wants to see what her quilt would look like, and she goes, I kind of do, but kind of don't, so you decide. So I said, well, this is what somebody else's quilt looks like, and it's in a different colorway. So you can see the pattern, but you can't see what your quilt is going to look like. And all of their colorways look completely different. So it's going to be fun to get the quilts done. We have a date scheduled on Stephanie's channel to sew the last pieces together into the quilt. So hopefully we'll be able to get some of them done and we can see what our colorways look like. Some of them hurt my brain because they're like, I made a goof. And it's like, okay, where's the goof? Because there's so much going on in the pattern that it's very difficult to see what's goofed in them. Good morning, Luane, who says, good morning, Russ and quilting friends. How are you today? I finally got to see the chin wag that you had with Sean. That was a fun little episode that you guys had. Sue says her day is just dandy, hand stitching a facing on a wall quilt. Ooh. Just, yeah, don't injure yourself. I saw my first facing in person about 2 months ago, I think it was. I had no idea what was going, because the first thing that I did was like I was looking and I'm like, this is gorgeous, and I don't pay attention to all the little details. And when I was helping them take the quilt down, because that was a raffle quilt and I just happened to be there and they needed a tall job, I said, wait a second, there's no binding on here. And she goes, yeah, they did that other weird thing. And at first I thought they did the crazy thing in I'm going to call it birth the quilt. It's the method that Loane said that he does to finish his quilts. which is easier to do on small quilts, but I can't imagine how to do it on giant quilts, which this was. And then she goes, no, 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 it's not that. It's facing, which is this. And we were looking, and I was like, that is incredible. Forgot my rotary cutter. I really need to get my second rotary cutter and a third rotary cutter. So I can keep one rotary cutter over here, keep one in my go bag. But then that ends up being, 3 times as many blades to keep up with to know if I've, changed a blade or not. Okay, here's the first half of them. And then this was a question that was asked by somebody the other day. When you do your flying geese, the traditional method, when you put your second piece on, do you sew from here to here? So from bulk to point, or do you sew from point to bulk? Normally, I sew from point to bulk, or from bulk to point, but also normally I try to do it the other way, where I put this side on first and this side on second. When I'm doing the puzzle mystery quilts, I definitely put this side on first and then this side on second, but with these, for some reason, I put this side on first and this side on second, and I always try to remember to do it the right way. Good morning, Charlotte. Thank you, Stephanie, for putting the link to the pattern. For those of us that are not on the live and watching the replay, the link is also in the description below. And it's also on Stephanie's channel because she did the tutorial, and I love her tutorial videos. Luane is asking if everybody saw the big reveal for Carnival. I did. And I'm so excited the way that mine's going to finish up. I gotta tell myself I gotta wait for at least one of my puzzle mystery quilts to sew with Stephanie and everybody on our YouTube live on her channel. Ooh, Charlotte is telling Stephanie that she's sewing, or she's cutting Spring Meadow in Anne of Green Gables. That sounds like that's going to be gorgeous. Since I'm going to be at the local quilt shop, maybe I will go see what I can find for Spring Meadow. Not that I've cut rock candy yet, or not that I've cut calm waters yet. So many projects, so little time. Okay, let me grab the last couple of these. So does anybody have exciting plans today? I said I'm doing the porch party after this. Hopefully I can find some parking. The last couple years I've basically gone up at start, which was before I was doing my lives, and managed to find parking just as they were opening up. But by the time that I was getting around to leaving, there was no parking to be found. I did make a silly joke last year that I managed to parallel park. But I really wasn't parallel parking. I just backed into the giant parallel parking space they had. Because I can't parallel park true parallel parking. But when the spaces are the size of 2 vehicles, I can do that. There was one year that I was visiting my sister, and I asked if she wanted bagels from Tandem and coffee from Dunkin', because I love the bagel place in town. It's delicious, and they prefer Dunkin' for their coffee beverage. So I was like, I'll go get it. And I finally get back, and she's like, what took you so long? I was like, they didn't have any parking spots by Tandem, so I drove around until there was a parking spot that I didn't have to parallel park into. It took you that long? Yes, because people take forever inside Tandem. Now we can just park in the shopping plaza next door. And it's just as easy. Ooh, Charlotte thinks she can get 2 quilts from a fat quarter. Ooh, that's always fun if you can get 2 out of 1. Although, so far, I have gotten 3 quilts out of the fat quarter bundle of Tula Pink's True Colors. Although the other 2 quilts are just baby quilts. But my Socialites quilt was the big one out of it. But it just means that I call the baby quilts free quilts for the center. And all I had to do is buy borders and binding and backing. Which still isn't particularly cheap, but if I can save, what is it, 20 bucks on a charm pack? That's 20 bucks less on the baby quilt. Loane is sewing blocks together for his latest project, and then wants to put Bomb Pop together, but waiting till Saturday to do it on Donnell's Live. Oh, that's going to be fun. Sean made the comment, I was talking to him yesterday. He said that he doesn't understand why people are, I'm going to use the word brave enough to do it on a live. I think he used a different phrase, which is also just as funny. just because of the opportunities for mistake. So we will see how, the group of us does on Stephanie's channel in a bit. Couple weeks. Putting together things live. It seems a little stressful to put a quilt top together when you got that many pieces and that much stuff looks the same. Doing the individual clues, usually a piece of cake, except for the times that I know that I have goofed, which it's been awesome because somebody's like, "Are you sure you put that together right?" Which I also felt like I was saying on some of the reveal quilts. I'm like, "Are you sure you put that together right? Something doesn't quite look the same." But the only people who would know that there was that is somebody who actually knows the pattern inside and out. And for all I know, that was a design decision on their choice. Because a pattern is just nothing but a suggestion. You can do it like that, you can do it like you want. Uh, oh, Cotton Cuts is doing a sew along live now for anybody who want to put together. I don't know if I knew that. I did see somebody commented about a Zoom during their reveal party, but I didn't know. Like, I thought it was somebody else's live or something, or that they were doing something else live. I'd be more apt to handle everything on a probably better on a private Zoom like that as opposed to the live Zooms that we do, because everybody's not watching you when you're doing a private Zoom. Not that, like I said, any you can watch any little details that I'm doing on, like when we're on Stephanie's live, because I don't have sewing cam on, but it's still lots of fun. 10 to 2 Central, so that means it just started half an hour ago. Okay. I really love these fabrics. We got a fat quarter bundle of it in the subscription box a couple months ago. And I made a quilt top with it. Hasn't been quilted yet. It's on my list to be quilted soon. But I can't rush that. I feel like I'm going to end up having a few days off and just doing nothing but long arming. And then once I do that, then I just have a whole bunch of binding to do. And as I joke with everybody, I just need to get laid off so I can quickly get another job and uh, manage to pay off the house and get a sewing room built. So I have all the half square triangles. There's 2 squares you need of that size, and then there's 8 squares you need of this size. Again, I'm not giving the sizes because not my pattern, even though it's free. It's unfair to the pattern designer if somebody else starts to give it up. And the layout is you put a flying geese on each top and bottom, and I'm just going to put 2 because I have 2 layers thick. A flying geese on the left and right. And then a green piece in the 4 corners. And that'll get us something that looks really awesome. So I'm going to move everything off to the side here to give me a little room to work. Loane is asking how the puppy dog is doing. She is doing very well. There is a funny story. Thursday, I had come home. Well, okay. Let's do the shaming first. Wednesday, I came home and my neighbor was out, and actually, no, Wednesday I did not come home. I just happened to catch them out because I worked from home on Wednesday. And I said, jokingly said, where's all the pollinators? Because I don't think he's mowed his lawn since August. And I'm not exaggerating. He's got Bermuda grass, so it grows very, very slowly. And I just was joking with him, saying, where's all the pollinators? Because he sent me a meme talking about somebody's like, why haven't you mowed your lawn? And he's like, I'm letting it grow natural for all the pollinators. Well, what about all this laundry? Pollinators. So I just basically was sarcastically asking where his pollinators were. And then Thursday, he actually starts mowing his lawn. And, it's looking really good. Though he said he's going to need to cut it again today just because he couldn't cut it quite short enough. So I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And while we were talking, Riley was doing really good, mostly sitting and everything. And one of the neighbors walks by with their puppy dog. And I'm just like looking at Riley, and Riley's just sitting there, and they're looking at me a little confused. And I was like, I don't know, she might be possessed by aliens or something. Let's just roll with it. Because when she sees another puppy, she wants to go say hi and play with the puppy, even though she goes from 0 to 200 in 1.2 seconds. And most puppy dogs don't like to be going to 200 that quickly, especially when both puppy dogs are on leashes. So, yeah, we kind of giggled. They stay, like the fact that she stayed calm and their puppy stayed mostly calm. Again, we work on scales with our puppies because, you know, if they're doing good for in a position that they're normally a little wild and they're less wild, that means they're doing good. So yeah, it was an amusing day. Like I said, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gotten out and trimmed his grass a little bit more. It's not supposed to get too hot today. It's supposed to be like mid 70s, so maybe he's just waiting for later in the afternoon. Or maybe he's just looking for some pollinators. I'll try to remember to include that meme in my vlog when I do it tomorrow, if I remember. So that everybody knows the craziness that I was talking about. Although it was Wednesday, was it Wednesday? Was it Thursday? One of those days I had to yell at the wife next door. I did not see the Facebook Messenger message saying that something happened, but my doorbell rang and I saw it was her, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, did my mail get delivered there or something? Just based on the time, because it's just a weird time, and nobody comes and like rings my doorbell or says hi or anything because there's Facebook. And heaven forbid you knock on somebody's door without a notice, which I guess is why she sent the notice in ahead of time. She asked if I had any milk, if she could, have a little bit. And I said, I don't have any. And she sits there and starts explaining that they were planting peppers, and their little daughter, who's 4, to be 5 this year, I think, ended up rubbing her eye after touching, the pepper seeds, which that meant capsaicin in the eye, which is not a pleasant feeling. And she's crying, and I was like, why are you telling me this? Go next door. Go ask them. Baby crying in painy, less explainy. So luckily the other neighbors had milk that they can give a little bit to, and they flushed the eyes out, and the girl is fine. But I'm like, your daughter is in pain. Don't be sitting here trying to explain. Good morning, Katie Crafts, who says hi, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day, Katie. Good morning, Donnell Stitchery, who is claiming she's late, but as I have told people in the past, just like a wizard, you are never late. You are perfectly on time. There is no such thing as late when it comes to a live. Except for the handful of lives that are giving away free stuff. At which point, then, yeah, you don't want to be late because you might miss the free stuff. Okay, now I'm thinking about planning my pressing. On the top and bottom row, it's easier to press outwards. And in the middle rows, it's easier to press inwards. So that's the directions I am going to press. because the pattern gives no pressing direction. If these blocks are going side by side with something else, hopefully it's not a big deal. We will find out. But in like 2 weeks. Donnell says she's late. She's late for a very hot date with more sewing machine time. And Katie Krause says it's a wonderful day to stay inside. First torrential rain and now it's snowing. Mother Nature having a little bit of a bipolar issue. Donnell says, did Mother Nature not get the memo about no snow? Especially since it's the end of April. The latest that I have ever seen snow personally was April 1st. Mother Nature played a cruel April Fool's prank on us. I was a sophomore in college. Because we never know what, well, we knew it, we could look at the forecast and stuff, but you never knew if the forecast was actually going to be accurate, and you never knew what professors were going to be thinking and stuff. I had a lab report due at like 9 a.m. or by 9 a.m. or something. So I was up half the night getting the lab report worked on. Obviously not looking out the window, not paying attention to anybody else in the dorm. I got the lab report done and I went to bed at like 3:30 or something. And I got a call at 5:30 from a friend of mine in Western Mass saying, how much snow did you get? And I'm like, Liz, it's, 5:30 in the freaking morning. I'm not awake yet. So she hung up and ended up calling me back at like 8, asking again. And I went to open up the blinds and all I could see was white. And I said, I don't know, I can't see anything outside. That's when I also found out that lab was canceled. So all of that extra work that I did meant I didn't have to worry about procrastinating later. But we got 3 feet of snow on April 1st. And we were stuck in our building for a little bit until maintenance had a chance to, get us snowed out. But that was the latest that I had seen. And I know the earliest my sister has seen has been Halloween, because that was a really wicked bad snowstorm. Actually, there's a lot of ice. And because the leaves were still on the trees, and couple that with ice and snow, trees were breaking left and right, which meant power was going out left and right. So that was not a pleasant storm for them. I forget how many days without power they were. Seriously, Katie? She says she was in Laramie. I don't know what state that is because I never remember where anybody is, and I apologize for that. For the 4th of July one year, and fireworks were canceled because of snow. That definitely sounds like Mother Nature was drunk. Donnell says Mother Nature is menopausal mood swings. I mean, she is probably of that age now. But I would have assumed that she would have been postmenopausal by now. Not that I have any, authority in what any of that means. I just giggle because there's a friend of mine up north where we'll go hang out, and all of a sudden she'll get a hot flash and she just cranks up the air conditioner in the car, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Because the air conditioner can be on full for all I care. But most of the time she's like, can you keep it down a little bit? And all of a sudden she has her personal heater happening, and she's like, nope, we got to turn up the air right now. My next door neighbor followed me out of the neighborhood one day in the dead of winter, and he sends me a message saying, why is your back window open? And when I got to my destination, I responded, why are you texting and driving? Because he was at the time, based on the time that I got the message, and I knew he was heading to work. He was heading to work, so I was like, I know you were texting and driving. And then I added, because it's too hot for my car's thermostat to do anything of a decent temperature. So basically, dead of winter, my car's thermostat is not really wanting to do anything because modern technology. And I will just sit there and say, okay, I will have the windows open so that I don't completely fog up. Luane just gave me a piece of information which only partially helps. He says that Laramie is where Matthew Shepard lived, which, okay, still doesn't help me on the state. Like, I know Matthew Shepard and everything and all of that, but I have no idea what state that was. Katie Kraft says that Laramie is in Wyoming. That's what I kind of thought when he said Matthew Shepard. But I'm bad with geography. I freely admit it. There has been many times that I have been driving here in Atlanta and get on Interstate 285 and head eastbound when I meant westbound, or westbound when I meant eastbound. And everybody's like, well, why do you have I've always had difficulty with west and east. But it's worse here because in Boston, it was basically inbound, outbound. Like, if you were heading into Boston, it always said Boston, and it was always inbound. Otherwise, you were heading outbound away from Boston. And I'm just like, it just doesn't click here for some reason because we have a choice of Greenville or Chattanooga. And I'm like, they're both north. Okay, I am going to do this way. Because again, I have no suggestion as to which direction it should go. But also knowing that Denver is where Katie Crafts is, went from rain to snow means I get to call a friend of mine and say, how's the snow? And he is just going to sit and complain the entire time. And I'm like, ha, ha, ha. Luane says he has a friend on TikTok whose kids told something is on Peachtree or MLK, and he has to ask which one. There are 73 different peach trees in Atlanta. You have Peachtree Street, Peachtree Road, Peachtree Court, Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, Peachtree Lane. Yeah, it's ridiculous. There are signs that you can be at the corner of Peachtree and Peachtree. I think we've only got one MLK though. But yeah, if you say Peachtree, and it doesn't get any better when you get outside the perimeter either, because the road that I live on is Drive, and there's also Court, Lane, Road, Place, and all of that just all around, which makes it difficult for people to get pizza delivered to me. So I'm just like, whatever, I'll go pick up pizza. And friends of mine have since opened up a pizza place, so I get better pizza and I just go sit there. So, wait, no, I gotta do that one. This is the block. It is so gorgeous. I've made two, just like the instructions say. So I am very excited. This was, again, week 2. Excuse me. And I got everything done in less than an hour for the sewing. Cutting didn't really take that much time either. I got everything specifically for this cut in probably a good 15 minutes or so. So they're quick sews with the Fort Worth Fabric Studio, except for that one that we had to do like 8 blocks that were 16 patches. But it was still fun and easy. Katie says she lives near the foothills and they have snow, but the east side of town may still have rain. Okay. Stephanie asks the big question. She sees that I have my Chick-fil-A cup and asks if I tried the new cherry berry lemonade. No. I have no absolute excuse why, except for the fact that I keep forgetting that it exists. I got the email when it came out. Usually they give us a reward on the app that says, hey, here, try it. I haven't seen one. So I just need to remember at some point to consciously go and stop by. Maybe I'll put that as a reminder on my way back from the porch party to grab a lemonade, because I love their lemonade. I'm very particular about the lemonade, and they ask me why. When I get their lemonade, I ask for half diet, half regular with diet on the bottom. Very specific like that. And there's reasons. The regular lemonade is too sweet. The diet lemonade is too tart. And when you do half and half, it gets it just right. But you need to put the diet on the bottom because the diet lemonade is less dense than the regular lemonade because Splenda, that's not what they use. Whatever the sugar-free sweetener is that they use um, is less dense than true sugar. So you have to put the diet lemonade on the bottom, and then as you're pouring the regular lemonade on top, it starts to mix a little easier. If you put the regular lemonade at the bottom and the diet at top, it doesn't get a chance to really mix easily. So there's reasons for that. And when I explained that to them, they said, that makes perfect sense. I understand. Okay. But at first, when I was asking that, it was a really strange request. I have to debate if I want to do it with the regular lemonade or the diet lemonade with the cherry berry. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. Okay, now my taste buds are a little drooling. But it is now approaching noon, and I've got my blocks done. I have nothing else to sew, and as much as I would love to just sit and chit-chat with y'all, I want to go to the porch party because I like to see the quilts. I want to see all of the gorgeous quilts. I want to see where they've decided to put my quilt because I put my Socialites 2 quilt in there. And it's a freaking huge quilt, so I have no idea where it's going to be. I will be taking a whole bunch of pictures, maybe a little bit of video and stuff. And I will be sharing that with y'all sometime in the next week once I can get everything put in together. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and make sure you check out everybody who's live streaming. I know there's going to be a lot of fun and stuff. This afternoon, I'm definitely going to be popping up with, or not popping up with, having Stephanie and Steven up on my TV while I'm working on something this evening. Next week, though, while I'm thinking about this, next Saturday is May the 4th, and my friend Steven is having his virtual retreat, and I will be attending that, which means my Elevensies is going to basically be pushed to Sunday morning. And it's going to be a little bit earlier than 11 because my friend Shannon goes live at 11, and I do not want to interrupt her live. So I will probably be going live about 9 or 9:30 in the morning, which, as I said, it's a little earlier than most people are accustomed to when I'm doing my lives. But it's still a good time. If you can't make it, don't worry about it. There will be the replay. And if you can make it, wonderful. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you are subscribed and turn on notifications, and you will get notified when I put the card up for when I go live. So hopefully I will get to see you guys next week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. A couple other people had a chance to join at the last second, so please go watch the replay. It was a lot of fun. This is a gorgeous block to do. The pattern again is in the description, so I hope to see you guys next week. Bye!